the boyfriend playing the recorder flute.
Yeah, I don't know. He like went ballistic on it, but then it was just like not even good.
It was so funny.
It's like, it's like
but say what you said about picking it.
he played it and then he put it right back in the bin.
No cleaning at all.
And then I was like, man, I wonder if they like ever clean that bin.
Welcome to A Fine Podcast with your hosts, Amanda and
Joseph. Yes. Another episode.
yes, of reviewing Love is Blind.
Yes, episodes 7 through 9.
That's right. Season 8.
Yes, 3 more episodes to unpack this week.
That's right.
Yes, and it was pretty dry.
Yeah, it really seems like this season they're just desperate for material and they're dragging scenes out because there's not really a whole lot going on.
Yeah, which, it's like, for them, yeah, that's great because that's how it should be. I feel like you don't need all this crazy stuff happening. But from like a TV watching standpoint, yeah, it's pretty boring to watch. But I mean, that's how it should be, though. It shouldn't be all this like crazy stuff that you want. But that's kind of what they're hoping for in this whole show. So it's
Well, it should be somewhat interesting.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's almost like just watching the average person go through a relationship. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, and I guess it's just not interesting anymore to see this.
yeah. Yeah, because there's
Sometimes.
nothing. I mean, it's just been like happy, normal, just going through. There's like no issues, no problems. I mean, yet at least, but that's good. I mean, especially because they just met each other. They're like in the honeymoon part.
But the problems they find, they really make sure to magnify those issues quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even that much to begin with. I mean, Dave and Lauren were like the stars of these 3 episodes.
Yes. Aside from the Taylor Instagram drama with Daniel.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes was that, and then that was over, and then there was like barely
Then it was just
anything
Dave
else.
and Lauren. But Sarah and Ben barely got any airtime for at least the first 2 episodes or so.
Yeah, I feel like they're
Like there was just nothing happening over there.
one of the, I would say, yeah, like weaker ones, and they were barely showed at all, which I was kind of stunned because I figured. But I mean, I
Until
don't
the
know.
end,
At the same time, I
where
mean,
their drama trickles in.
yeah, there finally was like a little bit at the very end of it all, but but I guess once again too, I mean, they're still in the very early stages of everything. I don't think true colors are going to be shown yet. You're in that phase where you want to, you're willing to bend some corners or rules of yourself to, hope the person likes you.
Right. Besides
So-
Dave, he made his true colors shown
Yeah, I
pretty
guess
early
he's
on.
kind of been pretty blunt, which is good.
Blunt. Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah, we'll go over that.
Well, I'm just saying, better now than after the marriage. and
Well,
then
I guess
you're
so,
locked
yeah.
into something.
It's good that he's showing his true colors now and not later.
Yeah, like some people.
Yes, but his colors don't make a great painting sometimes.
Well, that's true. Yes, yeah. But
So
I'd rather see those now before
see those now.
get married to this person that I'm now in with. So
Yes. But the first episode, the couples are traveling off to Honduras. Yeah.
yeah, so this is their vacation spot, and yeah, I mean, I almost see now why they, because I guess we saw something where, normally by the 6th episode well, I guess we talked a little bit about this last time, but I guess I really see now why they didn't or there was 6 episodes of the pods versus the sixth being like the first day on the
Seriously.
Honduras stuff because there like was
Nothing
nothing
happened.
to.
Nothing happened. In our notes, I think we put, Dave got thrown in a dunk tank. Dave hit the water.
Yeah.
And then we put, couples went swimming. Some couples went on a boat. Some went scuba diving because there were just like quick clips of the different things they did. And then the conversations, there were barely any hot topics happening. And yeah, so it was probably hard to drag that out even into one episode for the producers.
Yeah, I mean they really, which yeah, I mean I'm conflicted because it's that's great. I I don't want the drama to be there, but then yeah, if I'm watching it, then it is very boring. But
Yes, well, these 3 episodes were very much
I guess even I
crazy.
don't know. I mean even
Boring.
the topics were just it was at least there could be not like fighting, but interesting conversations that they're having or something that could at least be nice to watch. But it was just all very
dry.
yeah.
Not a lot that they talked about.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like, I guess too, I mean, you're still in that, you're just meeting this person
So maybe they're a bit nervous
for the first
and
time and then you don't know what to talk about. So
they're
it's
not
almost
really
just
talking.
easy. Yeah. It gets quiet and then to keep the flow going, it's more just like, wow, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Right.
Like there was just so much of
that.
still, which just, but I guess I will say, I guess I didn't get that much. I feel like from Joey and Monica, they feel the most natural to me so far. Like they've actually been having lots of different conversations.
Yes.
Like things have been flowing. It doesn't feel like they have many dull moments where they're like trying to find something to fill the air with talk. Their stuff seems the most flowing.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
I
like
agree.
everybody else, Dave and Lauren had a lot of, oh, this is weird, or am I being awkward? Is what are we talking about? Devin and Virginia were like that. I don't know. So
Virginia was like, "Thank you, thank you." She
That's
says
the
thank you a
surplus
lot.
of thank you.
Yeah. I can't tell if Virginia's nervous or if she's just reserved as a person.
I think she's still just like more quiet in general.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
them later, but something I enjoyed about these episodes were the Nick and Vanessa Lachey pop-ups and the narrations they would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the rock in the city shot.
Yeah, it's like they pose them standing on a rock in front of water in the city, and they're like, well, now it's time for the couples to enter their apartments. What will they think of each other? Will one of these hot subjects tear them apart? Like religion or race or money? And they brought them just to say that little clip for like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't understand the point. I don't know, they don't even see at this point, they don't even like interact with the people.
Yeah, they're just narrating.
Like at least in the pods, they talk to them a little bit, but now it's just, yeah.
They flew there from LA to get set up on a rock for a 15-second talk over.
Yeah.
And then flew back. Was it worth it?
I guess so.
It was a pretty shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, the backdrop was great, but it was just a lot. It seems like a lot of effort for a little
result.
a little gain.
And normally it's Nick Lachey's voice, like a voiceover or something. Like he could have done that at home, but
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, I guess too is like what, to show them that they were back from Honduras and
back in the
now
city.
Back into the real world and see how they cope with being in the real world.
And what better way to introduce them back into the real world than Nick and Vanessa standing on a rock?
They've got to, of course, say their big saying, is love blind? And
that actually may have been the best part about these 3 episodes where I take it back. Them standing on that rock with the beautiful backdrop talking about this.
Yeah.
It's a good way to keep things interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like that spot was where we were looking through Mason's TikTok and he took a shot of like some leaves with like a sunrise
Do you
through
think
it,
he
and I
was
feel like that
there?
was almost in the same exact spot where that rock was
Yeah, Mason, the
because it seemed
cinematographer.
very like same exact spot. That like the backdrop looked almost very identical to theirs. But anyway, that's
Yes. Mason's TikTok is great. He doesn't have a lot of followers yet, but
yeah. But he also at least has a whole bunch of stuff. Like this was something we looked through some of them. I didn't look through all, but some people, they just made a TikTok or whatever right when the show came out. So I was like, oh well, of course. Or at least some people have had theirs for a while,
right.
and or some had it for a while. They never really posted, but now they're like posting a whole lot. So
Yeah, you got to use this new fame to get out there
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's
and interact. But is that
yeah,
why they're going on the show? Or is it for true love?
yeah. I almost feel like it's I don't know going into it because I mean probably a lot of them are what are the chances that I'm actually going to find someone. So it's almost more of like a chance to get my name out there, but and then like love could be on the side, like maybe it happens, but it's almost more so of like the chance to have the 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't know, maybe not. But
Or maybe.
I
Yeah.
think there's some people, yeah, for sure, and I mean it's gonna be impossible to weed that out entirely, but
Yes. I don't think there is a way to weed it out. And you might as well make some fun, interactive TikToks if you
yeah.
got on the show and it worked out, or if it even didn't work out. But yeah, if that's the only reason why you're doing it, then it's probably not right.
I don't think it's entirely the reason. I think there is the chance of that, but I think it almost be of like a I don't know, like a 70-30 or something maybe. For the people who are more interested in that than the
70.
love aspect. Like 70% try to make something else happen out of this.
Wow, that's a large percentage.
I don't know. I'm just
It's over half.
ringing off my head. Yeah, of course. It has to be more than half to at least show that's more of the incentive than.
Yeah, but you think that's more important to them than finding a marriage, a partner out of this?
I think some of them, sure, because I think some of them probably just think the whole idea of it could just be crazy.
So let's go over Taylor and Daniel. We were left with a cliffhanger in the previous episode where Taylor thinks that Daniel may have followed her, then unfollowed her on her Instagram account. And they went to the hotel lobby and they were beginning to discuss this last time. And then this time, the producers say, hey, Taylor, we'll give you your phone if you want to double check in front of Daniel to see if he really did follow or unfollow you. Or follow, then unfollow you. I don't understand this following, unfollowing. And then she said she had an app that tracked who followed and unfollowed her.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even know there was an app for that. And how many people are following and unfollowing for you to want to track that? And then she goes to try to check it in front of him, and there's so many follows that she can't even see where he would be in the big pile of follows.
Well, yeah, this was like painfully awkward. I mean, to sit there and do it in front of him and then to just sit there and look and scroll one by one trying to look. And then there's like a ton of people apparently, which I don't
This whole
know.
thing was really strange.
It's also why are you needing to track who's following you and who's not following
that's
you?
question number one. I don't understand this.
I don't know. This almost like made me think like, is she even here for the right reasons? I mean,
right, there's so many people following and unfollowing.
She's clearly very conscious about her account and what's going on with it. So
yeah,
I don't know, that kind of raised some questions in my mind. And then just to sit there and do it in front of him,
and he's just sitting there like staring at her, trying to follow or trying to look to see if he did it. And he basically said, I don't really remember, but I can tell you I was genuine with this show. I didn't know what you looked like. And it seems to be somewhat of a small circle that they have in their town because there's a couple bars, they all have connections or in some way or another. So it really wouldn't be outlandish if he actually followed her. I don't understand the unfollowing part, but for him to say, I don't really know. Maybe he really didn't know.
Yeah. I, I mean, he didn't seem really one way or the other. He was very calm with it. Maybe he was just trying to stay calm during the whole thing and not.
He said, I don't think I did, but if I did, I really don't remember. But I can guarantee you I didn't use any of the information from your Instagram profile to
Yeah.
boost our connection here.
Yeah.
So she keeps looking and looking, and then she gives up and she just says, okay, I'm done doing this. And then she shifted to, I'm so embarrassed. Why did I do this? This was so wrong of me. He's so patient and kind. And he seems to really be into the connection and was very forgiving about the whole thing. But yeah, I think she looked crazy before she came to the realization that that was a little nuts.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about, I guess it obviously, I mean, it's between them, they know. I mean, I almost thought like this would definitely be a kind of a contingency point going forward. But I could saw it's obviously how he feels about it, and he doesn't seem to really let it bother him or, you know, play a role in even subsequent things. I mean, I would think, normally this might be like a really hurt, what he thinks about her trust in him and not. I mean, obviously, she's just seeing him, so there's really none there yet to begin with, but it was still kind of thinking, hey, wow, now this she's already accusing me of this. Like, what else is she not going to really have a lot of
That's true. I wonder if he's
trust in?
thinking that deep
Doesn't
down,
seem like it. I don't think so. I think he's kind of just moved on and
which I think is good,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just let's move on from this and, I'll give you this one. But if I see like crazy behaviors, like it's a repetitious thing that happens in the future, then maybe we'll have a deeper talk about it. But maybe he can understand that this is a crazy experiment. And I think the fact that she realized how crazy it was helped.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I think he was glad to have that behind them. And at the end of the day, who cares if he did it? Who cares if he followed her? I don't know. I don't understand the big deal with it. I believe he probably did.
yeah. I mean, I guess because it's the whole, to not see the person before, and so maybe he did. But I
Yeah,
don't
but
know. Is he
I think he
following?
did. And he didn't know he was talking to someone who he
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
connected with.
he's following a bunch of different people and then he just unfollows them or something. I don't
Well, the unfollowing thing is weird.
Maybe he just does that with a lot of people. So it was just like
It's
if
kind
it
of
was
strange.
her, that it was just totally insignificant because he just does it all the time or something. I don't know.
They talk about how many Christmas trees that they want in their apartment, their new apartment that they're sharing together. And he says he wants, maybe 1 to 3. And she says, well, I have 4 on my own already. And then she said, well, why don't you let me handle the Christmas tree shopping?
Yeah, it's just a lot of more. I don't know. I mean,
More
there
Christmas
really wasn't
talk.
much. I mean, it was just. I mean, it's more of just them starting to kind of picture things together, and now that that they've seen each other, they're here. It's more of just seeing how Christmas is actually going to unfold for them, what they'll do, maybe new traditions, and
Well, in Honduras, they talk about getting a Christmas ornament from.
yes, because Taylor mentions that she likes to grab an ornament or pick up an ornament from wherever she travels to reflect on that when she's putting it up
Yeah,
on
which
the
I like
tree.
that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they figured they could start doing that as a couple now to find one that they both like.
Right. Well,
Which yeah,
things.
that's a
Yeah.
normal common thing. That's yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, things seem to go well with them in Honduras, and then as they enter into their new apartment. And then it's time for Taylor to meet Daniel's family, and they're very, very accepting of her, of the whole process. They're super nice and welcoming. And I like that his sister's guide dog was named Christopher Robin. That was really cute.
Yes, yeah.
And then they had another dog named Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Um, so yeah, they don't have any reservations about the process, and they like the conversation they had with Taylor. And then it's time for the reverse. So Daniel meets Taylor's family, and they talk about how her dad went through cancer treatments, but they're glad he's here and able to be a part of the visit, and he's doing a little bit better. But off the bat, her dad seems more easygoing, and her mom seems more reserved about the situation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, she kind of tells him going into this that, hey, it's probably more my mom you need to be worried about than my dad. And he kind of started off talking to the father, being like, oh, I'd understand being a father, and if I was picturing, my daughter meeting this guy that I wouldn't know, and then the mom chimes in, and she's like, it's you should tailor this more to like me versus him. And yeah, and I guess it was, maybe because the mom brought up that, not being able to be one of the first, or I guess when the moment happened of getting proposed to, that
yeah,
she didn't
she's
find out
offended.
immediately, that she
Yes.
seemed quite bothered by this. And
I think Taylor's pretty close with her mom, so
yeah,
she was upset about that.
yeah. Which she was like, oh, I told you once I got my phone, but
Right. It's part of the experiment, but still.
yeah, I guess she wanted the exact moment that it happened.
Yes. Well, something interesting here, Daniel's parents show up to meet with Taylor's parents, which was nice to have the two sets of parents interact and talk with each other. And then they seem to get along, and then they're talking about, our biggest fights will be who gets to have them over on Christmas. And this
Yeah.
was like the only thing that really happened with them. And then one nice touching moment that happens, Daniel takes Taylor's parents aside, and they have an emotional moment together where they're crying, and he says he wanted to just personally ask both of their permission to marry Taylor officially, since he didn't get to ask permission to propose to her during the experiment. So that was nice. I was happy to see him do that.
Yeah.
So Taylor and Daniel seem pretty solid actually at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say they seem pretty well fitted.
Do you think they're going to get married?
Yeah, I do have to say I think they in the previews, for the future episodes, there is like one little flash where Taylor is crying, and it looks like she's like hugging her dad or something, or appears to be crying, hugging her dad. I feel like they're throwing that, and that's just gonna be like the father daughter dance or something, and she's just emotional during that, and so she's like tearing up over that. But they got that shot to like misconstrue to make it look like there's drama between them.
Yeah,
But I feel like
for
theirs
sure.
is gonna be pretty nonchalant.
It's either
Like,
that
yeah, I
or
think
right
they're
before she walks down the aisle and she's emotional with her dad.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't think it's like he doesn't show up or says no or something at the altar. I think theirs is that's a totally thing. They've just tried to make it look to
right.
obviously keep you engaged, but
Yeah, now I'm thinking that they will probably say yes. So,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem to have any doubts, and I think she is feels. I mean, I think she does really feel bad about the that whole thing with the stalking thing. But now that that's over, yeah, I would say I feel they're pretty locked in.
yep.
So yeah, I would feel strong about them.
So let's move on to Joey and Monica. So the episodes open up, they have the same happy, crazy energy about one another, just like we saw in the reveal that they had. And we learn that Joey's left handed and Monica is 5'10". And Joey says, "That's perfect because I'm 6'1". So he doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some TikToks about in the reveal, people were saying maybe Monica was self conscious about her height because she kept bending over to greet Joey and interact with him.
Yeah, I would think so because I mean,
But she was wearing heels too. So
yeah, yeah, but already being like 5'10", and then you wear heels, and then now you're over 6 foot. I would say probably is she probably does have some maybe conscious because maybe previous guys she's dated when she wears that she's towering over them or something, and that's you know
yeah,
something
which I,
different or
I
not
feel bad
great.
if
So
that's true and she really was uncomfortable.
yeah,
She shouldn't be. Um, so we see them on the vacation and we learn that Monica can only fall asleep to a white noise machine and Joey has never fallen asleep to any sort of sound whatsoever. So they try it out and he actually sleeps through the night and everything's fine. But I feel like Monica, like I need that white noise machine.
yeah. I mean,
Don't you need it at night?
yeah. I mean, they're nice. I mean, I've grown accustomed to it now. I mean, I like it, but I think Joey said he tried it like once or like or like during a thunderstorm, right? He's kind of treated it like that, but I mean, he's never used like a machine to be the generator of it. But no, I think they're. I mean, yeah, I love mine. Uh,
We need white noise. We need it to go to sleep.
well, yeah,
I need double white noise and then I have to listen to something in my ear.
yeah. I mean, you're in like a whole other dimension when you go to sleep, but yeah, I mean, it's at least nice to have something, just some static noise.
Yeah, well, the difference between you and I is sometimes you like to turn on this meditation thing or something with like sounds, but if it has sounds and I'm predicting what the next sound is going to be, like a something that moves like a thunderstorm or chimes or oh, let's breathe in and breathe out. That really stresses me out before bed.
Yeah, that's more just like for fun because I know that irritates you.
Yeah, I
Like
think so.
not
Probably.
irritates, but you just you find it weird.
Yeah, you're like, look, I'm so zen right now. And it has like the opposite effect on me. I'm like stressed hearing these instructions of how to breathe right before bed.
Oh,
Yeah. So Joey opens up and tells Monica that he has OCD and he used to count every time he did something, like every step that he took, he would notate what number it was, how many of them he did, every bite that he took, like different things like that. And he saw a doctor and he was about to be put on medication, but he told the doctor, let me try to control this myself. And he did. Because I think they start this conversation by him telling her, "Hey, does that fireplace bother you over there?" Because it was definitely way off center. And she said, "Actually, looking at it now, it bothers me, but it wouldn't have before, but now it really does."
yeah, but I forgot. She's an interior designer, right? Like, because I think that's why he would have asked that question.
I have no idea. All I know about her is she's taking some time off from her job.
Yeah, she's in between jobs.
Yes.
But yeah, or maybe it's just because I mean he mentions he has the OCD, so I guess for him it probably was bothersome to it be so offset.
Yeah, but when he did point it out, it was bothersome. Why was it so far to the left?
I don't think it was that.
Why would they do
big,
that? Why would they not center it?
Because it's asymmetrical.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Style.
Yeah, that's not style. I would hate if that was in my house. I wouldn't be able to live there.
Wow.
Okay, I would live there, but I would think every day, why is this not centered? Why is this not centered?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he confides in her with that, and she responds very well to this and understands and is there for him for that. And then we see them do couples yoga together in Honduras.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were very uneventful, at least for this part. I mean, the most they had was finally when he met her family,
Yeah.
but everything else with her was just totally uneventful,
Everything went well.
which was
They
great
meshed
for
well.
them. But yeah, I mean, it was
Even going to the apartment, they mesh well. But this is where their conversations start taking deeper turns into some quirky things about Monica's life. First, they get in there and she goes, "Whoa, the decor is very minimalistic. Like, there needs to be more things." And Joey says, "Oh, wait, are you a fan of knickknacks? I hate knickknacks. I can't stand them."
yeah. She brought up the term like knickknacks, but then he like jumped immediately to like knickknacks that like your grandmother would have, or some like more vintage style things that he's like, well, those are
Or just
creepy and
like
weird.
the almost hoarder style stuff.
Yeah. But she comes back and states, no, not more like that stuff. Not like that type of knickknacks.
Like stacks and stacks of books and different
Right.
things.
More
Everywhere.
just like, yeah, then she called it vignettes. And I guess it's more almost like, I feel like, if you were like staging a home, right? You have all these different things. You have like a circle plate that sits on the top of the middle of the table and has a
you said this,
plant
but
on it, or has a little
I couldn't really
coffee
envision what she
table
was
on
talking
an
about.
ottoman that's got.
Because I thought the apartment looked fine, really, as it was from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I thought I don't know. I should have checked, but I think she was like an interior designer or something, and that's why she's so big on this, because it's her thing. And
I'd be interested to see. If
yeah, I
that's
should
correct.
double check that, because I feel like I remember hearing that when she introduced herself.
Hmm.
But I think
Yeah.
that's why she's so like focused on those types of things.
Well, Joey's a minimalist, so
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
trying to make some
minimalist.
differences
I mean,
between the two.
yeah, I mean, he's just like every other guy who just doesn't build like go crazy with an apartment with like pictures.
Whose apartment did they walk into and they're like, "Wow, this is pretty blank." Oh, it was Dave's.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, a single guy in an apartment.
I feel like that's how you
Who's
were,
gonna
right?
be? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not many guys out there who really decorate their apartment with little vignettes and
Knick-knack paddywhack.
staged presence of
Give a dog a bone.
things. I mean,
Well, then they move into the conversation of laundry, and Joey always likes to have his clothes clean, but he just hates folding clothes. And then Monica says, "Well, I've got a crazy story for you. Whenever I do laundry, I don't fold things. I just throw the clean pile on the floor, but it's all clean." And then one day I was reaching out to wear my jeans that was clean, crumbled up on the floor, and there was a spider crawling on me when I put it on, and I looked and there was a spider's nest in my jeans.
yeah, this is like,
What the heck happened here?
yeah.
That's frightening.
I mean, this really like took Joey by surprise and kind of off guard, because I mean, it was more like, really, they're clean, and how long have they been sitting there? Because I mean, it feels like that has to have been sitting there for
weeks and
a
a
while.
month,
Yeah.
2 months.
I mean, she's like, oh no, I'm in clean clothes, like no more than 2 weeks or something.
But that's why you can't just throw your clothes on the floor, dump them in a pile, and walk away forever and then come back to it. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good laundry plan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, at least have that. But
Well, Joey looks nervous hearing this story, and he says, "I would prefer clothes to be in drawers, folded."
I'm guessing, yeah. I guess obviously, with the OCD, he's probably very, because he mentions too, he already, because they were asking, are you a 50-50 or what type of chores, who's gonna do what, and he's like, already, I clean, multiple times a week, and I keep everything in place. I'm guessing that's probably because of the OCD, and so it almost seems like It's almost like Tim and Alex, where it's like he's more of the tidy, and then she's
Except
a little more.
not as bad
Yeah,
as
right. No,
Alex,
Alex was
but
like on a
yeah.
whole other level. But just
Alex was like, like as soon as you walk in the apartment, you'd want to just run away
yeah,
because
hers was
it's
very
very messy.
disorganized.
But yeah.
Yeah, Monica's not nearly to that level, but
Okay, but this was a pretty bad story. But then she tops it, sort of, and says, well, with socks, what do you like to do with socks? And he's like, I don't know, like put them away in my own drawer. And she says, well, me and my family, we have a sock bin where we just throw everybody's socks in the entire family in one bin. And then we just go in and randomly pick out a pair of socks that we want to wear for the day.
yeah, this was I've not. I mean, Joey said he's like, have you heard of anyone else who's ever done this besides your family? Which he said no. Which
Yeah,
I
and he
agree.
said,
I've never heard of that.
does your family
either.
have a sock fetish?
Yeah. I mean, I
That
guess
sounds bizarre. I would want to know where my socks are
to each
and
their
just
own.
put
But
them on.
yeah, I don't understand. I mean, what do you have like a universal sock size then? Because I mean,
One sock fits all.
I would not be able to
What if
wear
you
your socks.
Right. So what if we shared a giant sock bin with hundreds of socks, and then we put everybody's socks in, right? And then
Hundreds of socks.
Hundreds.
between the two of us.
well, maybe we start adding our boys' socks in there too, and then we're just
Okay.
sifting through socks, and then you just pull out a pair that fits me over and over and over again because it's so hard to get to your socks.
Yeah.
It's just useless time spent on that. Or maybe what she's saying, yeah, they just each grab a sock, just like you go in blindfolded, essentially, grab your sock and put it on, no matter if it fits right or not. Just walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why.
Yeah. So you'd have to really try to stretch out my socks to try to wear
What
them.
would be the
Would
why
you
not
like to
just-
share a sock bin together?
no? Why not just have each person with their own sock?
And again, no drawer. It's
Yeah.
a bin on the floor.
I mean, you already have drawers for everything else, so are you just out of space or
I don't understand
know.
what's happening here.
to each their own, I guess, but
Yes.
I don't get it.
So Monica lives with her whole family, and Joey goes to meet her family, which is also where Monica's room is. And Monica has stuffed everything from her previous apartment into her one room. So she's showing Joey around there, and there's a lot of stuff in there because it's meant to be in a whole apartment. And then they all sit on the couch and they have something called Fam Jam time, where the mom announces this. Monica looks pretty embarrassed, like she doesn't want Joey to see this. And she says, okay, it's time to go get the instrument bin. And then they have a bin full of all these different types of instruments. I like what you say about the flute. Or was it a recorder or a flute? Someone calls it a flute.
I mean, the guy called it a flute, but
I think it was a
pretty
recorder.
much a recorder.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just laugh like crazy when I think about your comment about the recorder. But so anyway, there was a bunch of instruments in this bin. So each person takes an instrument. Joey's like, no, Monica, don't be embarrassed. I'm totally cool with this. And does he get like a tambourine or something?
Yes.
Yeah, so he has that.
Well, he first asked, he's like, do you have a cowbell? Which was like a great way to play it off, but yeah.
So talk about the sister's boyfriend.
Well, first, so they all got their own instruments. I mean, the dad got some bongos, the sister's boyfriend with the recorder, Joey had the tambourine. I actually don't even remember what Monica
I think
or
there was
the
like a
mom had.
maraca. Someone had
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, it's very all like hand instruments, basically.
Right. Besides
The recorder.
the recorder.
But then I thought the mom, brought this up, and I thought they were going to play like
Like a
have a
coordinated
background song or a background song to go along with things, and then just improvise on top of that. But then they just
That would have been fun.
didn't have anything. It was
Especially
just,
with the woodwind instrument, or not the woodwind, the percussion instruments.
well, yeah, right. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually this could be cool or whatever. But then it was just chaos. It was just them all just doing their own thing and no background music or anything. Just a hodgepodge of instruments.
And how
making
long can you keep
noise.
that up for if it's not like a
Yeah.
song that people are trying to coordinate with?
Yeah, it just seemed very chaotic.
But
But
the close-ups of the boyfriend playing the recorder flute.
yeah, I don't know. He like went ballistic
Yeah.
on it, but then it was just like not
it
even
was
good.
it was so funny.
It's like just like
But say what you said about picking it.
well, yeah. So he played it, and then I thought, wow. So I wonder if they actually clean these instruments. At least for the recorder, because I was thinking, man, he's like, got his mouth, and then he played it, and then he put it right back in the bin,
No cleaning at
and
all.
then I was like, man, I wonder if they like ever clean that thing.
Do they sanitize their instruments? Especially woodwind instruments. You're putting your mouth all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had any, of course, you probably couldn't fit a trombone in there or something, but like brass instruments, like you can't just use the same mouthpiece.
Yeah. Well, also here's the other thing. This is why I think it's basically all percussion stuff, because they're not skilled at playing this stuff. It's just like for fun and just making whatever you can. We're
right.
like, I mean, obviously there's skill to make it sound good, but you can just play that where like, you can't just pick up a trumpet or something and actually make a decent sound off of it. Or like a
Right.
bongo, I can make a, a good sound off
I
of
do
it.
like your idea of like having a background music that you play or whatever just behind the scenes, and then everybody just gets up and does their improv to the
Yeah,
song.
that's what I
Like
thought
one
they
by
were
one,
doing.
not just mass chaos, everybody just making as much random sound as they possibly can. It reminds me of my family on New Year's. We used to go out and bang pots to welcome in the new year, but we were doing it like lunatics. Like we weren't doing like a coordinated song. It was like spoons against pots and
Yeah.
going nuts.
Yeah, you just look like a bunch of tribal people running around, going crazy.
But I love the idea of it. I just wish that it was what you thought of when you first think of, oh, family jam time. We're gonna just everybody goes up, does their own improv to the tune of a collective song.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
But this was it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, so I mean, yeah, Joey takes it pretty easily or
Would
pretty
you
well.
play the recorder after the boyfriend
No,
was
I
done?
probably would have picked something like Joey. Great.
Because he was
Great
putting his
option.
all into that recorder.
Yeah, but it didn't
Likely a
sound good.
lot of saliva in there.
Yeah.
It didn't sound good.
Yeah.
Wait, do your impression of him playing it again.
Like, like a lot of finger movement and just making different noises, but not coordinated or syncopated at all.
Well, Joey goes, "Don't worry, I like the quirky things about your family." And he does a good viewing of their sock bin in person once he's there too.
Yes, yeah, she shows him that, and then right before the family thing, the sister, I guess, just comes out bluntly and asks him, "So why are you here? And why are you on the show?"
And why are you single?
yeah,
She said.
yeah,
Which is
it was like
what
this,
in the world is that comment?
I don't
Why
know.
would you ask somebody that? That was rude.
It was like this. It was almost like the equivalent of like Dave's of like, "Why are you here?" when he was asked
Right,
in the
exactly,
pods. It was just
exactly.
like the exact. Yeah, it was pretty funny, but clearly she has like some reserve going
She
into this whole thing.
was against everything
Yeah,
about
she
this
probably very highly discouraged her to never do this.
from the start. From the start, you can see. Yeah, and like you said, it starts in the living room, right before they had fam jam time with everybody
Yeah.
going ballistic on their instruments. But yeah, it was very much, this is going well. Let me see if I can find a way to make it go bad. And she started with those questions. Why exactly are you single? Why would he have to answer that for you?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, and it was almost like, I don't know if it was or not, but they edited it to make it just sound like it really kind of came.
Out of left field.
Yeah, and I guess really, I mean, because they didn't show anything, the mom or the dad really, really asking him questions. I mean, it was really her just apparently who kind of wanted to really grill him about stuff. But
Yes. But we also see where some of this may be stemming from when the conversation turns to, oh, yeah, here's Monica's sister's boyfriend. But Joey goes, oh, yeah, the one who was romantically involved with Monica first, because Monica must have told him that apparently her and her sister's boyfriend actually met first and they were talking together in a chat room. And then she met him and realized he'd be a much better fit for her sister.
Yeah, this whole thing was kind of strange. But then, yeah, I mean, Joey made like a pretty funny comment of like, oh, maybe he's still try to
That's why he
get
stuck
to
around so
Monica.
long. Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised. That was a pretty bold.
Well, maybe he was so bold because the sister was attacking him.
Yeah,
So he's
maybe.
like, oh, we like to be bold here. Let me throw in this comment.
Yeah,
But that was a pretty funny remark. Like maybe he's just hanging around to get Monica back sometime.
yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of weird. Like, how can you continue forward in that weird
But then,
situation?
I don't know. That wasn't great because I think that almost probably I'm sure that put a bad taste in her sister's mouth
Yeah.
about
So,
about him in general
well,
and
it was
whatnot.
kind of a playful joke. It came off as.
Yeah, but she looks like the person who would.
She didn't even mention that as a reason why she didn't like him, though. So they go off by the fire. They have a one-on-one, Monica and her sister, and she goes, I just don't like him. I just don't like him. And then she had no reasoning behind it. And she said, I never pictured you with somebody like him. Yeah, sure, he's getting along great with the family, but I pictured you with a 6'5" Italian model type. And he is not that. And Monica says, come on now. Like, you're just spouting off the stereotypical type for somebody. And, that's not right. And you need to give him a chance. And this whole thing just seems like a big jealousy issue here. Her sister's jealous of Monica having this opportunity, maybe jealous of Monica in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially because when she brought up the comment of, well, I guess you're getting married first before me, even though
Oh, that
I'm
was
the
a big
older
one.
sister and I'm 5 years older, and I always thought I'd be the one getting married first, but I
Yeah,
guess
like
it's
this
you.
isn't going in the right order. That's why this isn't meant to be.
Yeah, like there's clearly some
Insecurity.
hard feelings, or yeah, I guess between
Being older.
her.
This is not right. I'm the older sister. I need to get
Yeah.
married first. Let me try to destroy this.
Yeah, I mean,
Which that's really selfish to
I
do to
think-
your sister.
yeah, I think she's very cynical with this whole thing, and then going into the next day or whatever with Joey, when Monica was asking him Joey how she thought it went with them. I mean, he called it out. I mean, he said, yeah, I think everyone liked me but your sister. And
Yeah, he knew.
but then he even brought up too of like the
Jealousy.
it's not because it's anything you did or anything. And he's like, oh, well, then maybe it's just like some insecurity or stuff on her point. I mean, he like nailed on the head. I mean, he saw right through it too.
He saw the whole
So-
thing for what it was, not even knowing about that conversation they had by the fire. But
Yeah,
he said, oh, okay, it's clearly because she's jealous of you at this
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
Which he's smart to pick up on all of that. And he's totally right.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he nailed that right on the head.
And he got along great with her family. I thought it was a good
Yeah, the mom and dad, and
time.
maybe even the
boyfriend.
the sister's boyfriend. But yeah, I mean, I would say they seem the most like natural to me. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, they seem very well with each other, get along very well. Their conversations just kind of flow, and they're always kind of laughing and having a good time. So yeah,
Agreed.
I would say they look the strongest to me.
Yeah, they're still the strongest. I think they will say yes. And I don't think her sister will be able to ruin it all for them.
I think too. Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of it too, I think the time thing will I think she'll eventually warm up when she kind of realizes they are gonna stick it through and not, it's not just for TV or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually for the long haul. I think she'll warm up eventually, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's move on to Sarah and Ben, the couple that started off real slow. Hardly anything about them until the last episode. But they went snorkeling, they went on a boat. Woo! They get back to the apartment and we learn that Ben says he washes his clothes once a month, but he washes his bed sheets 2 times a week. This sounds like a lie.
Yeah, this was This seemed like she really was shocked about the first answer, so then he tried to like clean up his act and have something more
Right.
appropriate. Because then I don't know, then he tried to play it off of like, well, I really like clean sheets when after a hard day's work or whatever, I come home and have some clean sheets
Total lie.
ready.
He hasn't washed those sheets in a year.
I mean, I don't know. That was, yeah, that felt a little
Yeah,
strange.
totally just because he saw her reaction when he said he washes his clothes once a month.
Yeah.
Her mouth like almost hit the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, that was a bad answer. I should.
Yeah. And then she looked very pleased by the second answer. She's like, I agree. I love clean sheets.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah.
Liar.
Yeah.
Something I thought right away was I like Ben's like mock work from home setup in his apartment that they shared. He had like a folding table up. He did the best
Yeah.
with as little as he got for that work from home.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think they have all that. I mean, I guess they didn't even provide like
Like an office or
dining
yeah,
table.
or some sort of
But I don't know. I
table.
guess maybe that was a little bit better of a setup. But
For his job, which half of the Love is Blind material says he's a developer and half of the other material says he's an account executive. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going on with that.
still don't know what he does exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised. I feel like they got probably the least amount of airtime so far with these episodes. I mean, they didn't seem featured at all.
Maybe the producers are really mad that they didn't talk about their religious differences or the political beliefs at all yet.
Yeah, yeah, because I thought there would definitely be more of them being shown than what was shown. But yeah, there was. I mean, they did finally a little bit at the end to kind of, leave things in a cliffhanger. But I don't know. I feel like 7 and 8 had barely anything with them.
Yeah, we see that they're, little clips of them getting along and everything seems fine. And then Sarah meets Ben's friends, which went really, really well. And all of the stories that he told in the pods were matching up. They paint him out to be a great guy. One of the friends is gay and has a girlfriend, and she bonds with Sarah about Sarah's sister. And another friend tells a great story about Ben when he was the designated driver for her, and they have religious differences, and he talked about how it's a faith, not a religion, or what is it?
He just likes to, he likes to call it faith and not religion.
Yeah, so that story matches up from what he said in the pods. But his friends made him look like a shining star to Sarah.
Well, I first thought it was Sarah's friends that he was meeting. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, because things went so
Ben's
naturally
originally.
well. Yeah.
I don't know. It almost. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know unless he just has tons and tons of friends, but I don't know, I was just stunned at how this went. But
Did he purposely pick out these people to make him look good to Sarah?
well, I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, maybe he's got a ton of friends, and he was able to kind of
Select a few that would
pick
make him
who
look the
would-
best.
Yeah, pick who would be great out of the bunch, but.
Imagine they're all paid actors for him. He's like, okay, I'll give you like $500 if you
I don't
come
think he
on
went
it."
that far, but yeah, I don't know.
And that's why that one girl worked in the story about the designated driver and how he definitely calls it a faith.
Well, that's what I was confused about because if I don't know, I guess you must not be very close friends or whatnot if you were just having that discussion with them for the first time or maybe, but that's why I think I was thinking it was like Sarah's friends because I don't know, it seemed like they were breaking
Why would it
new
be Sarah's
ground
friends when they're talking about Ben's background and character?
because they're interested in knowing about him, not.
They're telling her about his background and character.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
If you weren't really paying attention and you just got like a glimpse of what was going on, it does look like they are connecting more with her. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I think that meeting was all about her. Um,
I don't know. I mean, so all in all, I mean, it seemed to go well. It didn't like there really wasn't
yeah, a little
any.
too well with all the paid actors that he brought on.
Yeah.
Everything's just going so well. And then last time we predicted they wouldn't even stay together, but now they're the perfect couple.
My theory is almost more of like that they'll say yes, but then they come to the reunion and then decided to go their separate ways or
So now
whatever.
you'll think they'll say yes. Before we were like, oh,
Yeah,
absolutely
I
not.
don't know. I just feel like they're not really. I don't know. I feel like the core things they're just different on a lot of
Do you
stuff.
think they're going to say yes though, regardless? I'm going with no.
I don't know. It's hard because
I think they look a little too good right now.
I
But
feel like
something's going to happen.
they're just not. If they don't ever go deeper with some of their conversations on things, no, I don't think they. I think they will say yes, but if they get into those conversations, then no, I think they'll realize that.
So if you had to predict, they're going to say yes or no right now.
I'd probably say yes because
So you're
I don't
changing your
think they're
mind.
going to. Well, I just don't think they're. If they're not getting to the heart of issue or discussions of things, I just don't think they've gone deep enough into these things.
I think something
They're
will
still
happen.
sliding off. They're still letting like, the honeymoon part of the relationship
So you think
affect their decision.
that will continue on into the next 3 episodes?
Potentially, yes. I guess there is this whole drama now of like this girl that released some TikTok that's supposed to be about him.
Yeah. Well, real
And
quick,
how-
I'm going with no and you're going with yes right now. But, right.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't feel good about them long term at all, but I almost just feel like at this point they're just not going to. Like, I don't. It just seems this feels so for TV, not real. And I would almost say they would say yes purely to do it for the TV. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, let's talk about the drama. Ooh, the only real thing that happened with them, besides all the paid actors of Ben's friends. So the drama. Sarah is sitting on the couch and she sees a TikTok of somebody from Ben's past. And explain this TikTok thing.
I mean, I think we watched. I think what was supposed to be the original one.
It's vague. It doesn't really call him out.
Yeah, it's just that she somehow got access to who was going to be on the show, and she recognized some people from the show and just said, "I wish they wouldn't reward these people for being on the show or whatever," and like that was it. So I don't know. I don't know how it got. Unless this was the wrong video, but I don't know how just everyone assumes it's Ben from this.
What did they say in the video?
That was like it.
That
he
was just bad?
I saw the cast. I got leaked to the cast. Some people are not great on this cast, and I wish they wouldn't have rewarded them for being on the show because they're not great people.
I think there was something a little bit more specific, but
I think there's some other stuff going around where they're showing like Ben handing out YouTube cards to people.
Yes, there's that.
So I guess
but that's not what Sarah's talking about here. Is a TikTok video that a woman made that painted him in a bad light. And then Ben says, yes, I met this woman on Tinder. It's about me. This was years ago. Hasn't talked to her in 4 years, he said. He said they never hooked up. They went out a few times and then he ghosted her though. And he doesn't remember why and doesn't remember a lot about the situation. That's his response. And Sarah looks concerned and she says, I need you to tell me everything here. And that's the cliffhanger.
I don't know. I mean, she mentioned, right, like from her side, there's not much for her to gain by bringing up all this stuff. Where that I was like, I don't know. I mean, couldn't she try to be bringing this up to get popularity or attention, since there's all this attention in Minneapolis right now? But
yeah.
I don't know how I really feel about feel about this whole thing. I think there could be a little bit more that he's not showing about it.
Yeah, because Sarah said, "Oh, you manipulated her." And he said that no, she's just overreacting to what happened in our past. So I guess time will tell with this one.
Yeah.
Is Ben a bad person?
It feels like there probably could be more that he's leaving out, especially because it does kind of feel a little like a lot of his responses to everything feel the very, I need to say the right thing. So I could see here where maybe he's trying to sugarcoat or playing it off,
And
and
does he
there's more
really
there.
not remember some of the details?
I think he probably remembers them, but I think he is being selective with what he wants to disclose here.
Yes.
So I would kind of lean more in her favor of it,
Ben wants to look good for TV.
but yeah, yeah, that's just kind of the initial.
Yeah. So let's move on to Devin and Virginia. They start out pretty slow moving. They talk about Devin's cartoon tattoos that he has, I think on his legs, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. He this sleeve, the two sleeves, like basically, I guess each arm and leg has like a theme of his tattoos, and
Yes. And one is cartoons. And Virginia goes, "Oh, cool. Like, do you watch them?" And he goes, "Oh, no, 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 no. I don't watch cartoons."
yeah, this was weird to me because it was like you're like really playing it off that you don't anymore, but then you decide to get a permanent tattoos on your
Yeah. He's like, "That was my
leg about
past
it.
when I was a kid."
Yeah, I don't know. That seems
Yeah. That was kind of strange.
like
Like,
if
you
I'm
wouldn't
like
watch it.
I'm past that phase anymore. Like, but I still want to, unless I don't know, unless you were in that phase and then you did it and now it's there or something, and now you
He
wish you
made it
didn't
sound
have it or
like,
something. But
"Oh, no, that was me when I was 10."
yeah, yeah,
But
I don't
yeah,
know. Just like playing the weird, like oh no, no, I'm not. I don't watch cartoons. I'm a man now. Or it's like I don't know. It just felt very.
that was strange. But then they also talk about their age difference. They make sure to bring that up a whole bunch. But then Virginia seems a little insecure with things. She's like, "Yeah, well, I'm still fun and I'm still young at heart, and even though you're young and I'm older." And so this keeps playing out a lot, especially when they go to visit Devin's family.
It may become an area of where it's they don't know what else to talk about at the moment or something, so they bring that up as just like some light conversation or something.
Light conversation.
It's just something that they can fall back on as something
You're
to bring
older,
up.
I'm younger.
But
You're older, I'm younger.
yeah,
Yay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Yeah.
It's-
But anyway, that comes up a few times because they have nothing else to really talk about, I guess. But Virginia at the end of their
Well, I guess too, if it's something new or like if she hasn't really dated someone that much younger, then she might be more, might be on her mind more about it.
yeah, I think he brings it up sometimes.
I feel like it's more so her than it is him, but yeah.
So Virginia says her favorite part about the vacation was just getting to spend time in the hotel room together, getting to know Devin better. And then they go off to see each other's places, which Virginia had a pretty nice place. And then you go to Devin's place, and then she sees all the shoes that he has. And then he says, "Yeah, I have a lot of shoes, but this is like the one thing I do for myself." And she says, "Oh yeah, well, how much does this hobby cost you of getting hundreds of shoes?" And he says, "Oh, well, this pair is $700." And that really throws her for a loop.
Yeah, this I couldn't like I couldn't tell if he was just talking about that area of the rack or it.
Well,
I
first
mean,
I
it
thought it
looks like
was
yeah,
his whole shoe collection was $700. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's not."
yeah,
Maybe he thrifted or something, but it was no. He was talking about that singular pair of shoes.
yeah. I don't know if it was like two or three. I think it is just the one pair because he does
One
put his
pair.
hand on the one. So yeah, I would probably say it is the one. He said he does one every other month usually, but then he has or occasionally he'll do like two in 1 month.
Yeah, so that's a
And
lot of shoes, and if they're all costing around $700.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like Jordans, which I know that's a big market for those, but I can't imagine. Maybe, yeah. I don't think they're all that much, but I think they'd
Okay,
probably at least be like 120 or something. Probably for like the cheap pairs are probably like
but just
120.
say that every one could be upwards of $700.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Virginia starts to get a little worried about his shoe
Yeah.
habit.
I do think he probably spends more on it than he probably realizes. But I mean, he does, like I mentioned, that's really the only thing he kind of spends his money on. He feels like he's pretty self-conscious with what he spends, or he's, responsible with it.
Right.
But that is like his weak spot.
Or the one thing he does for himself, he says, but he has
Yeah.
some money saved up if they want to go on a vacation or if they need it for anything. He said he's good. But then they start talking more about finances, and he says, do you like if one person would pay the mortgage and the other person would pay the utilities?
Yeah, I don't feel like that's a
So someone gets slapped with thousands of dollars by themselves and the other person gets a couple hundred.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This was like a weird.
That was, we were like, what?
Yeah.
That's a weird comment.
That's like a very skewed. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know. It just kind of felt like he was almost playing it at like, of like a 50-50 ordeal. Like someone gets the mortgage and someone gets utilities, right? Like,
Yeah, but what utilities are costing
yeah.
thousands of dollars? But yeah, he says he's a program director, but he's on the track to be CEO. That's his career goal. I didn't really understand this whole thing. He's like, I'm friends with the CEO. I want to be CEO.
Well, he said him and his buddy like started this company, or he started at like a small startup, or his friend's like the CEO currently or something, but they've grown and they're doing well. And
So his friend watching this knows that he should watch his
I don't
back
know
because
how.
Devin's going to be after him for his job.
Well, that I didn't understand when he started explaining. Well, soon I'll be CEO of it. I didn't really understand how that path was going to work unless his friend's getting sick of it or something. But because he mentioned his friend was the CEO, then so I was like, oh, well, how would you become? That's weird. I don't know how that transfer would happen, but I mean, maybe. I have no
Will it be
idea.
a
I have
peaceful
no idea
transfer?
what the situation of that looks like. But so anyway, I mean, he's showing that he's obviously got a plan and a future for his career and where he wants to go with things. And
Yeah.
she mentions, she wants to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
And,
she goes straight to that. Well,
yeah,
I just want to be a millionaire, not through my salary, through stocks,
or just investments.
investments.
But yeah. So I mean, there's both at least thinking about that stuff and thinking of future plans and
Yeah, she
goals to
seems very
achieve. So.
secure with her.
And she obviously, well, she seems very familiar and has assets, because then she brings up this whole idea of a prenup.
Yeah, which I think in this experiment, how is that like a hot topic? Like, you're just meeting this person. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you got assets, I mean, that's a great thing to do. And it's not, I think, yeah.
And she mentioned, let's do separate accounts. Maybe we'll have one joint account, but we'll still have separate accounts. And let's definitely consider the prenup agreement.
Well, and it was more, and it wasn't like it was more just basically that if this doesn't work out, then you walk away with what you had and I walk away with what I had. It's not like
Right.
one person trying to take everything from the other person.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
And that's all. And I mean, I would say, yeah, especially with, this thing. I mean, marrying someone in 6 weeks or whatever. I mean,
she said it's to protect you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah. Because it could be, a one-sided thing otherwise, potentially.
I think she's totally reasonable with that. So they tried to make that look like that would be like a crazy topic for a little bit, but it seemed like Devin was okay with it.
He was, and then they went to the family and they brought up the family, and the family was like, "Oh, well,
yeah.
maybe, she's not in it."
I think
for
the
right
sister
reasons.
brought it up right at the end.
Yeah, her and I think the mom did a little bit, but I think the sister was
they
a little
shut
bit
it down
more
pretty
aware. But
quickly. But yeah, we'll talk about the family.
yeah,
But Virginia also says here that she will help pay Devin's student loans and his medical debt from his surgeries he had as well, if they're in a partnership together,
Yeah,
which I
I
thought
mean,
was
she's just saying,
nice.
yeah, I mean, they're in a marriage. I mean, his debts become her debts and et cetera. And so,
Like it
yeah.
wouldn't just be up to him to do that
Yeah.
anymore,
Right.
which I thought this was very nice. Virginia meets Devin's family and they talk about a lot at the table. He said that he wants 2 to 5 kids. And she said, "Oh, well, I said I wanted 6 kids at some point." And then they talk about Virginia possibly freezing her eggs. His sister straight up asks, "So are you guys going to start trying immediately since Virginia is so much older?" Or some crazy question here, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, the family brings up some of the age thing too. And
That was a weird question by the sister.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but because I don't know, it's really not that big of a difference. But
What is she, 34?
she's 33 and he was like
I thought
turning
he was
29.
34.
Nah, she's 33. So whatever, there's like a 4 year difference, like a 4 or 5 year difference.
Yeah, and
So
it really wasn't as big as what I thought when they painted it out on the table. I'm like, okay. Or at the
I
table.
guess I guess what maybe brought that up is because I don't know, because she said right 6 kids, so then it's like, well, she'd probably have to be going into her 40s potentially to have that many or something. So maybe that's why it stirred.
Or it's
If
like,
she just said, "Oh, I want 2 kids" or something, that maybe she wouldn't have felt so inclined to
I don't even think she
remark.
answered that question, or they like cut it off or something,
Yeah, I
which
don't know. Then the sister too brought up the
the
whole thing.
sister was way too forward. Way
Yeah,
too
well, then
forward.
she brought up like the thing that Devin had to be like, no, 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 that was just a joke. Like I wasn't serious about. Like he wanted 5 children.
She wanted to blab it all on there. She was just like
Yeah,
going in like, I want to be on this show. So she was like, "Oh yeah, remember when you said you wanted to name all the kids after your name?"
either that or she was like almost like a little vindictive of him being on it or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of sibling
Yeah, I
jealousy
was just saying,
or
I feel like we're gonna get the same with Dave. Like it seems like a recurring theme with all the
yes.
family
His
members.
sister's dying to be the villain of this show so she can be on it.
Yeah, but yeah, she seemed a little strange
That was
with some of
strange.
the remarks.
Oh, and then one of the siblings, maybe it was his brother, he asks the question that, oh my goodness, like, should you be being asked this question the first time you're meeting somebody? But they said, hey, yeah, when mom and dad get old and they can't care for themselves anymore, are they going to be able to live with you guys, Virginia? Can my parents live with you guys instead of going to a nursing home? And I mean, way to put Virginia on the spot because this should be a conversation that her and Devin have together if that topic comes up.
Yeah, I mean that's a I don't know. I feel like that would be like of a question more about the siblings should have amongst themselves, and then like Devin would talk to Virginia about it later or something if it ended up being because I don't know too is almost like well what about the sister? Why is she just trying to
And the brother,
pawn them off to him or something? But
the
I would think that
brother.
would just be a family
There's a
discussion.
brother and a sister.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah, and that should be a discussion between
yeah. Them and then they
everybody.
would go to their spouses or something afterward. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. This felt weird, but like a
Definitely
weird
weird.
question to ask.
Very weird, very inappropriate to ask. And then Virginia responds with a very nice answer of course we take them in, and she says nursing homes are scary places.
Yeah, yeah. She's not
So
a fan. So
yeah, basically she said everything they wanted to hear. The mom really challenged her on religion. She goes, "Oh, of course. Of course I'm very religious, very religious. Will you take in my parents?" "Oh, of course. I definitely, absolutely." Are you going to have kids right away?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course, of course."
she definitely got probably grilled the most out of
Grilled the
any of
most,
the couples.
but saying answers that I think she thought they wanted to hear as well back. I don't know how
Yeah,
genuine all of it was, or if she was just so targeted, it was just like, okay, I got to say these things to get through this.
I don't think it felt so much in that regard. I think she was pretty serious about them, but it was like a lot of pretty hard hitting questions on the first first interaction. But
Yes, they talk about the 50-50 splitting things, and we noted here that Devin's mom spoke a lot, but Devin's father barely said anything.
yeah, I was telling you, he reminded me of like Tim's interaction from season 7. Like the mom was talking a whole lot, and then the dad would like chime in right at the end. And it was more just to say, well, like like, well, we approve of the relationship or whatever, and I think you know your dad does too or something. He'd be like, yeah, I agree, or like
Yes,
I don't know. It
yes.
was like the same thing here, just like that. And then he was like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. Like there just was no
Is that what he said
nothing
here at
from
the
him.
end?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
much
because
the
the
mom.
mom's like, "Well, you have our permission." Well, I should say, "You have my permission." And the dad goes, "Yes, as long as you're happy, I'm happy." And
Yeah,
that was the
yeah,
only thing he said the whole time.
yeah.
But then they go outside to the backyard and introduce Virginia to the pet pig, which was really cute. And this is where we see that the sister had a problem with the prenup agreement.
Yeah, because he mentions it to them, and then they thought, well, oh, maybe she doesn't have the right reasons going into this, or thinking that there's a divorce in play or something. Which I don't know, I would, sure, maybe it might be a little strange if they've been dating for 3 or 4 years. Maybe not strange, but I find it definitely a lot more understandable, you know, dating them for 3 weeks or whatever
Yeah, me too.
before going into this, let alone, but yeah, I mean, and then I mean, he mentioned, I don't think she, neither one really have the intention of breaking it off. It's more just if it never does get to that point.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
So the
no, I feel good
parents
about him.
like her, and I just can't tell if Virginia's like going through the motions and trying to be the perfect person, or if she is 100% herself and comfortable.
I think that's just how she is. I think she's just just kind of more quiet in nature
Do you
and
think
whatnot.
she is really super religious and she wants the parents to come live with her?
Yeah, I think she'd be with all that. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think she's really put on a front. I think it's just kind of how she is. I mean, I haven't really seen anything to show me otherwise that that's who she is not. But
And are they really the best match for each other?
I mean, they seem
I don't know. I
very
just think there's
connected.
something off. It's too good to be true. Something could be off. But
Yeah,
yeah, do you think they're going to get married?
yeah, I would say they're probably.
I think yes, because they mentioned a lot
I think unless there's
about
something to
that.
happen to maybe show that that's maybe not who she is. I mean, that's what I was waiting for. I mean, I kind of feel with her, it's like you'd kind of have to show me that you're not, because I don't know. I don't get like she's just faking this or anything like that. But that's just my take on it. But no, I'd say they would. Yeah, I think they will. They will get married.
Okay, yes. We're voting yes.
Yeah.
I hope it's all authentic and things work out. So let's talk about our last couple here, Dave and Lauren. There was a dunk tank. Dave goes in dunk tank
Yeah.
was my notes. Um,
Yeah, they go to Honduras. They're at a brewery, and then they're like, "Oh, look, there's a dunk tank. You want to try it out?" And then Dave gets dunked in.
yeah, he was making fun of me because he took a look at my notes and he's like, "You wrote Dave goes in dunk tank? That was your notes here?" I'm like,
Well,
"Yeah, you try finding something interesting that happened in this
I
scene."
mean, yeah, there really was. I mean, well, yeah, nothing had happened really yet between them, but it was just, I don't know. I guess because it just sounded more caveman like. But I mean, obviously, it's just notes and whatnot. But just reading it out loud just
It was funny.
felt
It was funny.
yeah. But
Because then he tried to take over and jot down one note while what was I trying to do? Feed
yeah,
Asher. And then he wrote this eloquent statement about Dave is familiar with one of Lauren's exes. He's aware of them, but not super familiar with them though. And he wrote, one Dave is aware of because his friends are friends with one, and the other he sees at the pool that he goes to.
yeah,
That was good.
yeah.
So that was your introduction to our drama with this couple.
Yeah, so I mean, they're the only one in episode 7 that even had, remotely anything of like some discussions of anything. And it's really, so we see this as like the recurring theme between them for these 3 episodes is Dave finds out that Lauren had these, people she was just hanging out with. I mean,
just one person.
She didn't even want to. Well, there's 2 of them, but there's one more focused on because I think it was like the one right before she hopped on the show.
Which how judgmental of Dave when we know he wasn't.
Yeah, and she tried to say,
clean.
like, oh, well, did you go to a club and flirt with some women at a club or something? And he was like, well, that's not the same as this, but.
And she's like, it's not, or I think the friends ask him that, but
yeah, I mean, she was going as far to say, it really wasn't a boyfriend; it was just more of a person she was hanging out with, and I mean, they were kind of, I guess, testing the waters for something romantic.
But yeah, Dave's friends
are they know the one guy because they're like his friends are friends with this guy. He's not like directly related, but his friends are, and I guess he trusts his friends. So the other one he has seen because I guess they go to the same pool because I guess they're probably in like an apartment building.
Well, the one they're focused on, there's only one that they're focused on, and
that's the one that's like more the friends.
So really, his friends are saying like, you better watch out, you better watch your back because of this, and they don't really understand what happened. But I think this guy that she was talking to is just trying to seek attention and trying to be on TV too, because he starts blowing things up everywhere. He's texting her. He's acting crazy and trying to magnify what happened between the 2 of them to get on TV, I think.
I mean, I don't know. I would almost say at this point, just if you really like have all these questions, just go talk to the guy. I mean, I don't know why you're just trying to get all the information through your friends or whatever.
Better yet, you talk to Lauren and then you trust what she says because this is your fiance now, right? So
yeah.
I mean, and he does that and they talk a lot, but it doesn't seem to go anywhere. It just keeps circling.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, the guy definitely wants him to talk to him.
They're stuck in circle. Well,
he's dying to be on TV.
Well, I would say as in a way that I would not be able to have the cameras on me.
You would really need to go talk to the other person to make sure.
No, I don't think so. Me personally, no. I'd be able to trust I would just trust until otherwise, and then she is still talking to him, whatever. Then all right, then yeah, bye. And I know you're not the person for me, but. I don't know, but to just sit there and constantly have this reserve. I mean, she's explained everything that she can do. There's nothing else she can say, I think, at this point for him to make up his mind about it. That's why I think for him, it's like he'd just be better probably if he just talked to the guy.
Dave mentioned, I didn't have a girlfriend for 4 years, but then she defends herself and says, well, he wasn't my boyfriend. Like, we weren't together. Like, we didn't have that label. It wasn't that serious. And then Dave says, this is a reason that I was skeptical with Molly because she was together with someone 6 months before the show. And you were together with this person right before the show. And he says he doesn't understand how Lauren could be together with someone so close to the show starting up. And then he says, I don't know, he's mentioning Molly a lot. Like, I was thinking about Molly. And so.
Yeah, that's really weird. is, well, there's even the one moment on the boat he mentioned, Molly's mentioned she was on and off with someone. And then Lauren did bring up, which I thought as well when he mentioned, I was like, what? Because didn't she say she didn't have anything serious before ever?
And I guess she said she never had a boyfriend, but
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, well, this was just on and off, so this wasn't a serious thing or something. But I mean, if it was
yeah, I don't
over a
know.
long period of time, I
I
would
don't
think that's,
understand it.
yeah. So, but I don't know, to like bring that up in this conversation was really weird. And then Lauren brought up too, well, how do you feel about seeing her at the reunion or whatever? And then I forget exactly what he said, but he did not give a great encouraging response for Lauren to feel good about it. Like it was almost just like, yeah, I'm at least see, you know, what she's like and
Do you think he got his
know
phone
if I
back?
made the bad choice or something, made the
He
right
looked her
choice.
up on Instagram and then he's been thinking about her. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I guess they do get their phone. Do they know their full names? I guess if they gave it to them, or like if
Maybe.
it's not their full, if their
I'm
handle's something
sure
completely different.
he'll move mountains to find out
Yeah.
who she is.
Well,
He'll
I guess too. This, yeah, I mean, I haven't. I should probably just look up what the population of Minneapolis, but everyone keeps talking about like this is just like some like everyone just knows everybody here.
or you have like a
Um,
connection with a
yeah,
friend or something.
yeah.
Um
So maybe it is very easy to get it, but yeah, I don't. The way he brought up Molly like way too much
yeah, so we'll see what
to be
happens
having
when he sees her in
because I
person.
think that and the previews kind of play it up, but I mean, uh, he does really I think mention way too much.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we'll see how that plays out. But also, the guy that Lauren was seeing lives in their apartment building. That's another note here.
Yes, yeah, yes, and that didn't make him feel good at
No,
all about that.
he lives in the
Yeah,
building they just moved in
yeah.
together, so he's spiraling. But Dave's sister is also, upset with the other guy information that she's hearing and Dave's friends. So Dave is just going crazy hearing this from all of his connections. Um, he says he wants to believe Lauren, but his connections are all hesitant and skeptical. And then they do an exercise bike class together, which this class looked really fun, actually.
Yeah, for
But
you.
for me, I would love it. Would you be uncoordinated like Dave?
No, I'd be cool.
No, I'm pretty sure you would be
But
coordinated. Yeah.
but no, I mean it's a cycling class, and I mean it looked very intense. I mean I would, yeah, probably be a pool of sweat afterward. But
It did look fun. I'd like to try something like that. But after the class, Dave meets with their friends, and this was like a crazy awkward setting where basically he just talks about Lauren being with the other guy in front of Lauren and she's all upset and the friends are just defending Lauren saying, this guy meant nothing to her. She didn't bring him around to any of her friends. We don't even know him. This was nothing serious. You have to trust in her. And I just thought this was so crazy of him to just keep going on and on and on about Lauren in front of her. And then her friends leave and she's crying about the whole situation, helpless.
them having the conversation in front of her where she was just like not even existent was like very weird to me. I mean, because she was silent the entire time, just talking about her with her in there like that was just, I don't know, it's just very weird. And then she's like getting emotional about the whole thing, and yeah, I don't know. That's why I just feel like he just needs to go. Because then, he does mention, well, it was nice to at least get a little bit of context from somebody else outside of it. And I guess that maybe helped a little, but, they fast forward, he's still having
I
doubts
don't
about
think
it.
he needs to meet the person because I don't think that's going to do anything. The other guy sounds like a psycho. He could just be lying and magnifying
Yeah,
things.
but he clearly,
I don't think that's going to help him, is what I'm saying. But yeah,
I'm just saying he's gotten references from his friends now, from Lauren's
his friends
friends.
don't
He's
know
gotten
anything.
reference from,
It's all hearsay from that one guy. So it's basically like talking to him because the one guy is shouting to his friends about all of this stuff.
yeah. I don't know, but talking to Lauren and talking to
That's
her
why I think
friends.
Dave just needs to go then, because Dave can't handle this situation regardless.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean,
Just walk away, Dave, if you
but
can't put
yeah,
yourself together about this, because this you need to move on. And if you can't move on from this, then you've got to go at this point.
it's been too long, I think, at this point. Because especially because they go into the next scene. I guess they're supposed to have some of their friends over. It sounds like some of Dave's friends because
Yeah.
they're getting like it looks like a little get together. You know, they've got hors d'oeuvres and everything out, and but then
And
he's
she
still stuck on this, and he can't get past it, and it kind of ruined their whole night. And then they say, "Well, maybe we should just cancel tonight." And
do we see if they cancel or they were just about to cancel it, I
no, I
think.
think they did. And then she was like really upset, and then she said, "Just go hang out with your friends or something." And then I guess he still met rather than like them coming over to the house, he went out with them or something,
Hmm.
which I thought was kind of strange because like you probably just
Yeah, he wants to go talk some more
comfort
about
her or talk to more about this versus like leaving her and going to
yeah,
talk
and
to
hear
them.
bad things from his friends that don't know anything about her, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So,
So I don't, that this was like a total bad move, I think, on his part.
yeah.
Really,
This whole thing is a bad move. He's not trusting in his fiance.
yeah,
He's not there for her when she's upset about all of this. This whole thing's making her so upset. I think she's doing the best she can, but what more can you she keeps saying like I don't know what else to tell you at the like we've already had this conversation. There's nothing more to
yeah,
say. It's either at this point, we're at the point in our relationship where you believe me, we let this go and move on, or you need to
yeah,
leave.
yeah,
So they're at a crossroads right now. But some other things about Dave. When they were in Honduras, Dave is asking women if they had relations yet with their partner directly. I think they did the thing where they pair like a guy and a girl up from each relationship to talk to each other. So they like pair Dave up with Taylor and Dave up with Monica to talk. But he's asking all of them if they've had relations with their partner, which made people feel uncomfortable. It was inappropriate.
yeah.
He knew from, I think he asked Virginia and he knew from Devin that they didn't. And he asked anyway.
Yeah, a lot of the language he uses is just not very great, or I don't know. He just kind of talks, but doesn't really almost think about what he's saying. um, yeah, I mean, all of this was like very bizarre and very strange. I could
I,
never imagine.
it
I don't know
makes
how I would do that.
makes my skin crawl like
But
thinking about him asking those questions to women. I just don't understand why he needs to know that information. Like, sure, talk to your buddies, your male friends if you want to relate
yeah,
to one another, but to have your conversation with the female and then talk about I don't know, the whole thing was very out of place and strange
yeah,
and none of his information that he needs to know. So, Lauren and Dave, they end by saying Dave won't let Steph go, and Lauren feels like Dave is checked out. Do you think the two are getting married?
yeah. So there is. I would probably say not at this point. I mean,
I'm voting no. No marriage.
I think seeing how now that he has just not gotten past this yet, I just don't see how they do. It seems like he could never get past this. Maybe he eventually does, but I would definitely say it probably leans towards no right now because being stuck on something this like really non-significant is not good. Because especially if something does arise that's significant, I think that would be absolutely in the bag. Would be a deal breaker for them. So if
Yeah.
he's having this much trouble with this, then imagine if something else that actually was significant. I mean, he'd never get past it then. So I think that would, yeah. Even if they still get past this, it makes me nervous about them of how they would handle future stuff. Because I think, yeah, I just think something of more significance like this, and he'd never get past it. So
Yes, I agree. I agree. And we see the least of them on the wedding day previews as well. So
Yeah, they're the only one I don't think we actually saw a clip of them on their wedding day. You hear or Lauren saying, "Oh, his phone, his phone's off because he doesn't get the red message or whatever."
oh, this looked
But
really bad.
but today's our wedding day or whatever, so I don't even know what's happening or something. So it sounds like they make it there, but you don't at least have any shots of. There's no clips of there, but they showed a clip of everybody else, so that's a little interesting. So I don't know, maybe
How is
like
he
just
painting her out to be the
ghosted
bad
everybody.
guy here? That's the whole thing. He's just like role reversed everything.
It's the whole thing's very strange. So
And she hasn't done anything to make
yeah,
him act like this. So, yeah. Coming up, though, in the preview, we see a bunch of fancy dates that the couples are going to do together. And we see some drama from Monica, where Monica says that she may be more in it than Joey is. Or at least that's what they want us to think she's saying.
yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of the preview stuff was just that's probably the most because obviously they're the hooks, right? But I feel like they're they're probably giving you the worst of the worst. Like that's the worst of their relationship is maybe he's not as serious as I am or something. But
Yeah,
they're
but
still gonna go through with it.
maybe they even took it out of context. Like she really
Yeah,
wasn't saying it
that's
like that.
true. Yeah.
And
But
Virginia's big dramatic moment was she printed off the prenup and
yeah,
the papers went on the table.
yeah, and then like he like gets up and she shows a weird face. Like I mean
I'm sure there's no drama with that,
theirs is
probably.
not a big deal. Yeah, or it's very nothing to the level they're trying to show it.
And then there's a Christmas photo shoot with Taylor and Daniel, which actually looks pretty fun. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see that.
Yeah.
And then we see all the
And the big reunion.
big reunion stuff.
But it's still the same stuff from
Same
last
stuff.
time. Which they show like Devin talking to Brittany, but
Yes.
like it's like he regret but no, I don't
Molly
think
and
he
Dave.
regrets his decision at all. There could be maybe, something. I do
Oh,
think maybe there's a
definitely
little
not.
bit of something there. I do think
I
there
do
could be
think they do have
something.
a connection, but I think he wrote her off right after the
Yeah.
confession.
And I almost got, because they ask, if like he's had relations yet or whatever. Or he's like, no, it's, been a while or whatever. And she mentioned, when she wasn't cheated on, but she like participated in like cheating or whatever. I almost felt like seeing that scene almost made me think maybe she actually, enjoyed being, I don't know, or something like she did once there. Maybe it happens again here or something like that.
Dave and Molly
But
get together.
I don't think that actually happens, but I don't. That just like jumped into my head though.
Well,
For
Dave's
some reason
the
when she
Steven
did mention
2.0
that,
too.
But yeah,
This could be Dave's Steven moment.
yeah. But that would be I don't know if he really did that, that'd be like a real crazy
Yeah.
to be like so hard on her about this thing, then he'd go do that.
I
Like,
know.
that would be like
That'd be like Hypocrite City.
really
Yeah.
really bad.
Really, really, really bad.
But
So yeah, we'll have to see what happens
yeah,
with everybody.
yeah. If it'll hopefully it'll be a little more exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the next 3 episodes are exciting. We can't wait to see.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see that where the cast gets to see the other people that they talk to. I think that'll be probably like that'll be the peak of the drama, and that'll be it. The rest of the stuff will be
Yeah.
very minor. But
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah,
That'll be the main event, seeing all the cast members come back together and the drama that happens from it.
yeah. So, but we will let you know next week.
Yeah, we're excited to review the next 3 episodes next week.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on A Fine Podcast.
Yes, check us out on our social medias if you haven't already.
Yes,
like and
please.
subscribe. Give us a comment if you'd like to. And
Yeah, let's talk in the comment section, and please subscribe to our channel. Help us grow here, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
yeah, we will see you then.
Goodbye.
Ciao.